So hello students, today in this class we are going to discuss the topic which we are going to discuss is called ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy of transition elements. Now it is seen that what is ionization enthalpy? First question is what is ionization enthalpy? Now it is seen that the enthalpy change which takes place to remove an electron from an element or to ionize an electron from an element, that is termed as ionization enthalpy, which is denoted by, from our thermodynamics study we know that it is denoted by delta H. Now this ionization enthalpy, as we move from left to right, suppose if we take 3D series scandium to zinc, the ionization enthalpy increases. Now why it increases? Because see, this is nucleus and this is first cell, second cell, third cell, n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3. So as you move from left to right, there is gradual filling of electron takes place from first element to second element, from second element to third element, so and so on. Okay. Now as there is gradual filling of electron takes place, so there come into existence, we know also from atomic radii, that one force which is termed as effective nuclear charge or attractive force. So the nucleus will try to attract electron towards itself. Thereby increasing the ionization enthalpy. Means it becomes impossible for the element to remove an electron from its outermost shell because of the increase in effective nuclear charge, or because of the, you can say also, because of the increase in attractive force between nucleus and electron. So now as we move from left to right along a period in the periodic table, so what happens? This gradual filling of electrons takes place one by one. The electron is getting filling progressively. Means on scandium we have 1 electron in d orbital, titanium we have 2 electron, vanadium we have 3 electron, chromium we have 4 electron. Like this it will go on filling one by one. Okay. So the electron, as it is going on filling, so there comes also into existence repulsive force between electron and electron. Means this electron will feel that this electron has put one shield in front of nucleus and this electron, or screen in front of nucleus and this electron. So this, which is called as screening effect, which we have studied already in atomic radii, this is called screening effect. Now as this screening effect is also increasing, so the increase in effective nuclear charge is being balanced or opposed by the screening effect. The increase in effective nuclear charge is being balanced or opposed, or we can say in other words, the attractive force between nucleus and electron is being balanced by the repulsive force between electron and electron. So this trend becomes limited. This trend of increasing ionization enthalpy becomes limited. Now what happens? When we go to zinc, suddenly there is increase in ionization enthalpy. When you go to zinc, there is suddenly increase in ionization enthalpy. Why? Because we know that zinc has got the configuration 3d10 and 4s2 configuration. So see, d10 configuration is stable configuration, s2 configuration is also the stable configuration. So since zinc is having symmetrical and stable configuration due to the presence of fully filled orbitals, since zinc is having symmetrical and stable configuration due to the presence of fully filled orbitals, what happens? It becomes, or zinc becomes reluctant to lose electron from its outermost cell. So the ionization enthalpy suddenly increases to the maximum. So what we have seen, my dear students, that as we move from left to right along a period in the periodic table, the ionization enthalpy first it is increasing, because as there is gradual filling of electron in 3d or n-1d subshells takes place. So that is why the attractive force between nucleus and electron is also increasing, means the effective nuclear charge is also increasing. So the ionization enthalpy becomes, so the element will be reluctant to lose electron. So that is why this ionization enthalpy increases. But as there is gradual filling of electron takes place in n-1d subshells, okay, now what happens? There comes along with attractive force another force which is termed as screening effect. Which is termed as screening effect, means the electron will feel that some electron has put one shield or screen between nucleus and electron. So this is termed as screening effect. So the increase in screening effect, is being it is balancing the effective nuclear charge. So the trend becomes limited somewhere in the middle of the series. Okay. Now if we go to zinc, suddenly we are going one by one to zinc. Okay. It is seen that suddenly there is increase in ionization enthalpy. Why is increase in ionization enthalpy? Because the zinc has got a configuration 3d10 and 4s2. So d10 configuration is the stable configuration and 4s2 is also the stable configuration. Due to symmetrical and stable configuration, because of the presence of fully filled d orbitals and s orbitals, the ionization enthalpy of zinc becomes high, or just a very high. So this is all about ionization enthalpy. So next topic which we are going to discuss here today is, the next topic is, that is formation of colored compounds. Formation of colored compounds. Now we all know that the transition elements form colored compounds. Why transition elements form colored compounds? Because of d-d transition. There occurs d to d electron transition between one d orbital to another d orbital. Okay. So because of d-d transition, the transition element containing compound shows color. The transition element containing compound shows color. But where there is no d transition, means if the d orbital is vacant, okay, so there is no possibility of d to d transition, this type of compound becomes colorless. Means we can say, for example, scandium 3 plus and titanium 4 plus, where we have got 3d0 configuration, the compound will be colorless. Whereas if we go to titanium 3 plus, where we have got 3d1 configuration, it is the color of the compound is purple. If we go to vanadium 3 plus, where we have got 3d2 configuration, the color of the complex is green. In this way, if we will go on moving one by one, and when we will go to copper 2 plus, if we go to copper 2 plus, we have got a configuration, likewise it will go on increasing. So if we go to copper 2 plus, it will have 3d9 configuration and the color of the complex will be blue. But when you go to copper 1 plus and zinc 2 plus, again we have got 3d10 configuration, a stable configuration where there is no possibility of d to d transition from one d orbital to another d orbital. So that is why copper 1 plus and zinc 2 plus, it has got 3d10 configuration, and that is why the color of the complex will be colorless. Okay, is it clear? So the transition elements show colored compounds or form colored compounds because of d to d transition. Okay, so d to d transition, but where there is no possibility of d to d transition, means where we have got 3d0 configuration and where we have got 3d10 configuration, there is no possibility of the formation of colored compounds. There the the uh, compounds becomes colorless. Okay. Now, how this degeneration occurs? The question may be coming to your mind that yes, how this degeneration occurs? So see, it's a very nice chemistry here. It's a very nice chemistry that how did degeneration occurs. So the fact is that d orbital, how many orbitals are there in d orbital? Suborbitals are there or subshells are there in d orbital? We have got in d orbital 5 d subshells. That is dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, and dz square. That is dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square, and dz square. Now these d orbitals are degenerate. What is degeneracy? Means these d orbitals all are equal in energy. These d orbitals all are equal in energy, means dxy is equal to energy with dz square. But when any neutral molecules or any ions approach them to form compounds with those transition elements, what happens? These d orbitals break up into two sets. One set is having 3 orbitals, that is dxy, dyz, and dzx, dxy, dyz, and dzx. This set is called triply degenerate orbitals, which is also termed as T2G orbital, T2G set of orbitals. And another 2 orbitals will break up into another set, that is dx square minus y square and dz square. So which is called a doubly degenerate or EG set of orbitals. Now if suppose there is one electron, so one electron is there in dxy orbital. This electron taking energy from the visible region of light. Visible region comes means what? Bezier, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. This electron taking energy from visible region of light moves to E2G set of orbitals. Now it is moving to E2G set of orbitals with the energy E equal to AC by lambda by de Broglie's relation. Means it is going to the one set to T2G set to EG set with the energy, with some certain amount of energy, means it is also going with certain amount of wavelength of light, means it is taking certain wavelength of light from the visible region of the spectrum. Okay. Now, but this electron is not stable there. This electron is not stable there. You try to come back to its ground state. So when you try to come back to its ground state again, it will release that energy which it has taken while going up from T2G set to EG set of orbitals. So the energy which is going to release, at the same time it is going to release corresponding wavelength of light. If it is E equal to AC by lambda, I am writing here E dash equal to AC by lambda dash. Okay. Now this energy release or the wavelength of light release is being seen by our naked eyes as the colored compounds. Okay. Now this visible region of light comes in the range Bezier, that is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and it starts from 400 nanometer or 4000 angstrom to 650 nanometer or 6500 angstrom. Okay. Now, so the energy or the color with which it is going from T2G set to EG set of orbitals, energy of the color with which it is going from T2G set to EG set of orbitals, that energy or color is that color is the color of the color is called absorbed color. So if we write here absorbed color, and while coming back from easy set to TTD set of orbitals, the energy or the corresponding wavelength of light which it is giving up is called complementary color. Is called complementary color. So if any complex goes with 4000 angstrom of wavelength of light, means it is going with violet color, when it come back the complementary color which it will show will be greenish yellow, that is yellow green. I am writing here in short yellow green. Now the color will be in angstrom. Now if it goes with 4500 angstrom, means it is going with blue color, it will come back with yellow color, only yellow color. If it goes with 4900 angstrom, that is bluish green color, blue green color, it will come back, the complementary color which it will show will be red. Now if it goes up from T2G set to EG set with 5700 angstrom of wavelength of light, means it is going with yellow green color, so the color which it will release will be violet, that is B. I am writing here in short. And if it goes up with 5800 angstrom, 5800 angstrom means it is going up with yellow color, it means the color which it will show will be dark blue. The complementary color which it will show will be dark blue. Now if it goes up with 6000 angstrom, 6000 angstrom, I am writing here again, okay. So if it goes up with 6000 angstrom, means 6000 angstrom means it is going up with orange color, so the color which it will release will also be blue. The complementary color will also be blue. Now if it goes up with 6500 angstrom, it means it is going up with red color, it will release bluish green color. So why transition elements form colored compounds? One question, very important question so far as your board exam point is concerned. How the TTD transition takes place, that is also a very important question. And you will be asked also in NEET exam and IIT JEE mains in advance that what is the complementary color of this color. Suppose violet, the complementary color of violet is yellow green, the complementary color of red is bluish green. So I am giving here one technique to remember how what if this is the absorbed color, what will be the complementary color of this very absorbed color. So what you do, my dear students, you just draw one circle in your copy. Whenever these questions are being asked in entrance exam or your board exam, you draw just one circle in your copy. After drawing the circle, you draw one line in the middle of the circle, another line in the middle of this circle, and in between two lines you draw two lines in the circle, and one line between these two lines. You draw one line in between these two lines. Then you write. Start going on writing. Violet, indigo, blue, then blue green, then green, yellow green, then yellow, orange, red and purple. So see, the opposite of violet is what? Yellow green. So if the absorbed color is violet, the complementary color will be yellow green. Opposite of red is what? Bluish green. So if the absorbed color is red, the complementary color will be bluish green. If the absorbed color is yellow, the opposite is blue. So the complementary color will be blue. Okay? So the opposite of one color, the color which is opposite to another color, is called the complementary color. So if one is absorbed, then the opposite one will be complementary. If one is absorbed, then the opposite of it will be complementary. Suppose if this is green or bluish green, the complementary color will be red, and vice versa also you can say. If it is red, absorbed color is red, the opposite color will be bluish green. So this is termed as complementary color wheel. Complementary color wheel. Okay, complementary color wheel. So I think it will help you to the maximum in your board exam as well as your final exam, because in board exam you may be asked one more question: what is the complementary color of violet? Suppose you will answer yellow green. If you draw one circle and if you can plot it, then you can find it that by opposite of violet is yellow green, so you can say very easily yellow green. So with this I am going to end my lecture here for today. Many more things are yet to come. Please join me. So with this, thank you my dear students. Okay.